Alrighty, welcome back to more ACC action. I'm back with Wolfie Too Hot. Virginia Tech just swept Louisville. Now Syracuse up next, taking on North Carolina. Syracuse ranked number 9 in the country. Here's North Carolina now trying to pull a stunning upset.
Well, with upsets, you kind of come in here, and I think they have nothing to lose, Nation. My first time really seeing it. First off, great to be in the booth with you again. I know it's been a minute since we've been here for CCS, but a great match to start us off. And, I see a lot about Syracuse online. I've been looking at the facilities. I kind of see what these players kind of have there for their disposal. I think this team sees all the schools providing, and they're ready to back it up. Who you're really predicting to come in here and really take over?
Well, North Carolina was received an 8 seed this summer in the CCS championships, had their first run opponent, none other than Akron Gold, who's now won 3 straight national titles. They took Akron to 6 games, Wolfie. So they've been competitive, and there's a decent shot they could compete with Syracuse tonight.
Well, this is where Syracuse is trying to say, hey, we know all the expectations onto us. And, hearing that, it's kind of finding who's going to gel, who's going to find those stars. And, I'm excited to see what the up and up is. These guys have a series to really get going. Is almost finding the first shot on net there. And this one will not be able to go off the side. Syracuse right now. The boys in orange trying to get it going.
Syracuse from Syracuse, New York, North Carolina, and Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Gavilan, a double attempt, no good, just broken up wide left here as Aaron will cover the clear there for North Carolina. The Tar Heels will be trying to get off to a solid start. This will be a big-time win for North Carolina if they can find a way to win.
Well, especially in game number 1, set the pace, set the tone of a series. Allow yourself to just get comfortable, and it's to shock Syracuse a little bit. You want them in panic mode. You want them to start going into a point where they're not playing the comfortable position that they know, but that's gonna happen to Ove. Gowan going in. Took him 60 seconds as that's gonna go for the first Syracuse goal.
It's Gavilan, 103. Into game 1, puts the orange of Syracuse up by 1 as Syracuse is 3-0 in the ACC league play, and North Carolina is 2-0 in the league play standings. So both these two teams run beaten in conference play, Wolfie. So this would be the first loss for either one. But again, Syracuse are heavy favorites, again being ranked 9th in the country.
Well, Nation, I said I don't know these players' names, but that one I'm going to remember for a while. I think he said, well, if you get it right, I'm going to show you a next goal. And Nano can't get too much. This one falling right in front of the net. Obviously, you're trying to see if he can get a teammate to continue on. But Syracuse, the rotation so far, I'm not minding it. They're putting on the offensive pressure, finding good ways to get into the Tar Heel half. But, the Tar Heels, I don't think that one goal is going to really put them at edge. But they do need to find an equalizer before halftime. Syracuse right now, it's just a biding time now. You just got to find a way to see the entire 5 minutes go and see yourself kind of come away with a W.
They almost found one there. Barris just off the post wide right as again North Carolina. 2 chances there to strike. No good though in both attempts as Fnatic trying to feed one more option, an opportunity as Gavilan, with nothing will clear the base for now as UNC come away unscathed there. 2:50 to go. The Orange still lead by 1.
Nano with an absolute huge job there. Great job with the demo. That allowed for a lot of clearance of the pressure. And with no boost for your teammates, it screams gold for the Tar Heel. Now it seems like a retaliation plays for Syracuse.
That it does. And this Syracuse offense is lethal. And again, they are undefeated. They're 5-0 in CCS season, 3-0 in conference play. So again, they haven't been defeated yet. They're 9th in the country. They've beaten Florida in 3. And there's one hell of a roster. Wolfie, North Carolina's on the board.
Well, Demo allowed things to go, but the Tar Heels finding a way to equalize it. I said they needed to get it at halftime. They said, can we get a couple more seconds, Wolfie? Yes, you can. Great job getting the flick over. All knotted up here, Nation. The Tar Heels, I think they came out to play.
They have so far. Again, I told you, they took Akron Gold to 6 in the tournament. So, again, they should have gone to Game 7 as well. They nearly beat them. But, again, this is a team they can compete. I told you they would compete, and they're doing that so far tonight.
A slugfest it is. Can the Tar Heels be able to go the entirety of the series? And that's kind of where it's, especially at this level of competition, does the stamina for the consistency go up? Because, Syracuse is going to continue on. And that one, a great shot on net. The defense getting there just in time.
Long clear for Barris. Going to buy a lot of time for this North Carolina defense to get set for this next possession. Aquasir in center field. Lost control. Now Fnatic waiting in line here for UNC, and 1:40 left to go. 100 seconds left. North Carolina still equalized with Syracuse right now. Barris in trouble. It's 2-1.
Here it is. He says, Wolfie, can you say it right? Gavilan. There you go. Great job finding it through. And this is where I love the pressure there from the teammate going up, rotating into the net, trying to make things difficult. That allowed it to become so much easier. They got the lead now, 135 left, but the Tar Heels, they're still knocking on the door, and you can't count them out.
This offense has plenty of time. Don't gotta panic just quite yet if you are North Carolina, as here in this UNC roster. Plenty of clock to work with here, but the offense has to be efficient and consistent in an opportunity situation. As Fanatics is making a big save there, but again, this offense has to be opportunistic.
Well, and this is where the opportunities are starting to become slim here. Towards the last 69 seconds, you have to just go guns a-blazing, almost throw the kitchen sink at them. Try to see if you can find yourself in an OT situation. Of course, you don't want to see yourself extending too much past the half line, but 60 seconds remaining. One more goal for Syracuse as a hat trick. Hats off here in game number 1.
And a hat trick for Gavilan. Syracuse lead by 2 now. So now North Carolina really needs to be efficient on offense, Wolfie. They're going to have any chance to strike back in game 1.
Efficient, they've been effective, this game has been all of them so far. And you know, for the Tar Heels, how are you going to be able to come out, get one more goal, even if it comes at crunch time in these last couple minutes? Just allow it to come in, find some confidence for game number 2. But you know, the Qs, Syracuse, they came in, they knocked on the door, they busted through, and when the Tar Heels tried to struggle, they just pushed them away, as Nano says, one more for the road here with 33 seconds.
I think that's a nail in the coffin, Wolfie. That fourth one is a kill shot here in game 1. 33 seconds, Nano puts it away with 33 to go. If UNC comes back, it's a goal every 11 seconds from this point forward.
It was a nail in the coffin. I think they just finally put it to rest. They put the dirt over and said, all right, boys, good night. We'll see you in game number 2. It's 30 seconds remaining. Can we see a consolation goal here for some confidence here for the boys in blue? But no, the Tar Heels, I like when they came out early. They fought well. They had some opportunities, but no, I still say that facility buff for Syracuse is coming out in a big way.
Very well could. 10 to go. Game 1 wrapping up here as the clock is starting to tick off, and 4-1 should be your final scores. Syracuse gonna let this one drop, and North Carolina had this game and equalized for a little bit. There's 4-2 your final score. They do get one for the road, and they've got some offensive momentum going into game 2.
Oh, momentum. Hey, take it however you can. A 0-second goal. Hey, that's what you want to see. Gets the splash. We know what we need to do. One more, but Syracuse find themselves leading this series. And oh, what a job here. Find yourself in a very comfortable position. You have all the breathing room in the world. But nation, 12 shots on net? Wow.
I mean, we just watched Virginia Tech absolutely slam Louisville, and they had like 15 shots in one game. I mean, their offense is just as dominant. Right? You know, again, BT is ranked 11th in the country. Syracuse is ranked 9th in the country. That could very well be your ACC championship game. So, again, North Carolina's, they've got an opportunity to make a deep run this season, especially in the ACC with how weak it is, in my opinion. But they could compete for 3rd, if not 2nd. So, again, this Syracuse roster is beatable for this North Carolina team.
I believe so, but you have to also understand the Bepic buff. He was just there, Syracuse, so he just blessed it. Is that going to be something that this Tar Heels team is going to have to come over? I think when you have him there, I always have to give him his flowers, but this is where Syracuse trying to prove everybody that they are the best in the world. And I think when you look at the CRL setting and potentially where they sit, they want to continue competing and showing that, hey, we know what it is to be up here. As Fnatic trying to see himself on the other side, this one continue to go on, but not much as Nano taking possession for himself.
Program coming off a Final Four last season. This is their B team, though. Gavilan was a part of that old roster with Tiz, Kababy, and Lester. That's the main varsity roster at Syracuse for the Final Four. But Gavilan's been a part of this league for a long time. He's had a Final Four in the Elite 8 back in Season 3. So they know what it takes to be competitive and win here in CCS, Wolfie. And they've showcased that tonight so far so well. But the first minute's off the clock, and North Carolina trying to hang tight here.
If I'm North Carolina, I might just say, hey, maybe if we get Bill Belichick in, find to see if he wants to coach up the Rocket League team and see if that kind of changes anything for themselves. That'd be an interesting note. But, nonetheless, here for North Carolina, what's been the biggest change that you've seen, especially in the offseason? I'm loving the confidence that they're exuding right now. Almost a save there. Not much to see. As Syracuse put us onto their half, we'll be able to take full possession here.
Well, the ACC's lost a lot of players to graduation and or the transfer portal, so it's not as strong as it used to be. In North Carolina lost X3 to graduation. I mean, Pitt lost their superstar Duke to the portal. Syracuse's roster is different. As Virginia Tech got upgraded, they got 2 brand new players that are both B+. By the way, they're super good. I mean, again, this league at the top got probably better, but at the bottom got worse. But at the end of the day, both these 2 rosters can compete at a high level, and I am expecting this game to be close still.
Well, it's been a close one here so far. 2 minutes of seeing itself tick off, but no goals currently. And you've seen the change. I like what Syracuse is doing. They have so much more boost. They're rotating well onto pads, and they're able to start Syracuse in moments where I felt in that last series. Remember that last goal? If it wasn't for that last second bump, there were 2 players for Syracuse with no boost. It could have led to a goal, but Uncle Steer says, put us back into possession. It took us a half. We see ourselves with a lead.
2:35, 1-0 for Syracuse. And back to your point earlier, man, I'm not sure how much, Coach Belichick would be of word to this North Carolina roster. Again, Chapel Bills 0-3.
That's football. The Rocket League could be a different space. It's leadership. We never know. But for Syracuse, they say we know we're the better team right now, and they're showing it.
2-0, 2:27. Syracuse back on the board. It's Gavilan's 4th of the night here in this series, and half the game gone. North Carolina now needed this offense to wake up.
Well, and, this is where the alarms are ringing, and if you don't stand up here, you let Syracuse continue to dominate the way they have. In Game 3, what are you really looking to do there? I understand we saw the shovels come out and the coffin and the burial, but you don't want the brooms to come out in a sweep right now, and you're flirting with that potential. Fnatic not trying to allow for the goose egg to stay on the board, but now having to rotate back. A little teammate bump will allow for a quick takeoff here, but Gavilan will just push it off.
In that last possession, one of those shots has to go in, Wolfie, if North Carolina is going to show any offensive prowess. And they just, they've had opportunity after opportunity, but this offense just can't seem to put anything away.
I'm looking for Fnatic right now to really make that change. I saw the chat really calling for him. So, look for him to see if he can get his first goal. 1 goal could be all they need, Nation. Sometimes that first one takes that monkey off your back, the 0 off the board, and gets you comfortable. But they haven't had too much of an answer. And a great job faking there. Varys will take this for himself, but can't get too far. No boost in the tank. We'll have to rotate back.
Varys is who you should watch for on North Carolina. But again, this team lost Nora to graduation. He was our superstar last season and led them on to nearly upsetting #1 Akron. So, they lose a lot of offensive firepower losing Nora, but Barris still can do a lot of work offensively. He might find one here. 1:05 to go. Aquasteer, a big-time save, keeps the orange unscathed.
Well, graduation, you got to say good morning right now if you're North Carolina. Wake up. Find a way to get it. Beerus, no boost. We'll just give it up. And that's just the unfortunate portion. It's even when they're trying to get themselves an offensive pace, they have around 24 boosts, maybe 12 boosts to try to see it for a long clear, but nothing controlled. It's where Syracuse has just been filling the slots so well tonight. Unfortunately there, the crossbar, not letting that one in, but the woodworks have allowed Syracuse to really work tonight. It's a good pass. Beerus, 31 seconds. Can it get done? Will they cut it in half?
It looks like I'm mistaken. Nora, I believe, is Aaron. He's still on the roster. He's not graduated yet. 31 seconds, and Barris gets the first. Now North Carolina will at least have some life down the stretch here.
All is possible. As this final 30 seconds, this is a big chance. Aaron needs to get there. Quick 50-50. Gavilan gets this one for himself. Will find Nano. Quick shot. Will it go? No, it won't. But a second attempt. Well, Gavilan in the moment of crunch. He's a 1-8. 18 seconds. This team takes the lead by 2.
And the Orange back on top by 2, Wolfie. North Carolina in that last play got it 2 bumps. Had no one home, and they couldn't put it away. That's about as bad as it can get for an offense here. 18 seconds now. North Carolina off the kickoff. There's a second. They're still alive.
There's a chance, Nation. There's a chance. We've seen it at the RLCS level, and Fnatic does it. He says, the chat's been asking for me. I'm going to set this place up. I'm going to get myself an assist. I'm going to see Aaron shine. And, I see the Hatsune Miku tag there. I love it off the banner. I'm always a fan, so now I'm rooting for you.
This offense is 13 seconds to get something to fall. Barris over the top. It's Gavilan. Open net now for Aquas here to put this game on ice. That he will not do. Gavilan back-to-back hat tricks.
He says, guys, pump the brakes. This is my team, my game. We do not get worried. We just get after it. As you know, just put them in a blender. What can you do there as a defender? You're just trying to see yourselves just do anything, trying to go for the squishy save, doesn't go for himself, and that's what we're talking about. No boost to do much. 0 seconds currently on the board. This one just needs to hit the floor, but will one more come at the end? It will not. Syracuse 2-0. This right now looks like it's in their possession.
I mean, yeah, North Carolina had to go all in on that last possession, Wolfie. They had no choice but to go all in, and they went all in, and they got overcommitted, and they got scored on what what happens. You have to be willing to take that risk down the stretch, and they took it, and it didn't end up going well for them. But at that point, with how little seconds were on the clock, you had to go all in there.
Well, all the chips on the table now for North Carolina, their entire series potentially coming in here. And, what more can you do, Nation? If you don't dominate from the early jump, you fall behind now. Syracuse has hold on to leads. They don't allow much to kind of loosen from their grasp. I think the most they've had is an equalizer, but from there, the Tar Heels have not seen a lead once this series.
That shot upper corner, Aaron, a big save. Nano, that was a huge save there from North Carolina. That was a big-time shot, too, there from Syracuse. We remain tied at 0-all, though. We'll be nearly 1-0 very early on.
What a quick mishap there. May have been the mind games, trying to see a teammate behind him. 80 boost will have a shot here off the wall. Can he continue on? Will not be able to. The defense reading it, but the shot's still on. Vieras gets there. Tima will be able to. Aaron trying to fight for boost, but won't get much. Vieras able to put it on the other side of the half.
4:16 left to go. Barris back from Aquasir, led up by Aaron. 4 minutes and change to play, Wolfie. North Carolina, if they're going to wake up, they got to do it here now in Game 3 and get this series to Game 4.
And they had a great half in that last game. Did a great job for 2.5 minutes, keeping Syracuse off the clock, off the board, that is. But a quick shot from Nano. Calculated, he says, but a potential misclick there. And it's just unfortunate. When things are going bad, everything does. And that's when you just have to say, goldfish mentality. Let me not worry about it. We work on to the next one. But at the very least, there's still 3:54 remaining in this one.
That's just a backflip you can't afford. Now it's almost 2-0 there, Wolfie. You can't have simple mistakes like that happen in such a pivotal game in a series where you're trying to pull off a comeback here, especially down 0-2 with your last life on the board.
Well, you talk about pressure, you talk about trying to be something that potentially you are, and that's a contender here for this team from North Carolina. You got to step up now. It doesn't matter how you start a series, it's how you finish a series. Find a way to at least get one win against Q's here in Syracuse. And I think the boys in orange, they're looking for the sweep. They want us to call their janitorial staff in early and say, hey, boys, it's time to sweep up. We know what we are about. But the Tar Heels trying to get it going, and this has to be their chance. Get this first goal, get some breathing room, and find yourself trying to walk into a victory.
3:05 left to go. Nano off the corner will take his time. He's killed. Fnatic now possession back to Gavilan. Aaron left alone. Is one in the backboard. Is anyone home? Rock was there for the shot. Is good. It's 2-0.
Well, you've seen him take the second roll here. Great job there on the understanding where that ball's going to go. And this is where the teammates, you can tell all the work they've been doing in scrims, in solo practice, even with each other, just knowing where my teammate wants to get it. Beautiful job on the IQ. That's why they're leading by 2 now. And can they continue on? I think one more goal, North Carolina might see this game kind of come to an end. But man, Nation, for first game on, you see the sweep. I'll really hoping that North Carolina, they'll find themselves with at least one win. I thought they had it in them.
They've been so close. There's still a lot of clock left here, though. In Game 3, there's a third. 2:31, the lead gets out to 3, and it just gets worse by the second, Wolfie. It's 2:31 left to go. We're halfway through. It's going to take one hell of a second half for North Carolina to get back into this one.
You'll see her open up the floodgates. The shot's coming in. And, he might be asking, hey, can I get a hat trick on this one? I got 2. Gallon, you got 1 earlier for yourself. Maybe I should get this as well. But, I've been really impressed about what they've been able to get going. And, Nano plays that third position so well, just really allowing his 2 offensive players to shine up front, going in for the cleanup, doing a great job on defense, and finding ways to be aggressive on some of these bumps. But, it's been a big team effort here for Syracuse. I feel North Carolina, they just came into a buzzsaw tonight. Nothing to really look at, as Aaron says, we got 1. We took the 0 off the board, 206. Does this mean better things? It may.
Well, they woke up in the second half last game, and they're starting off the second half here about 24 seconds in with a goal. So you have to at least like that for now. But 2:06 to go. We've got 63 seconds to score per goal. So they've got a good chunk of time left. But again, they still have to be efficient and opportunistic here.
This is where I want potentially just a quick goal. You have to take around 30 to 45 seconds right now for the Tar Heels to have enough time. At least give yourself 60 at the end. And off the kickoff, we've seen them get 1 kickoff goal already. If that comes away in a pivotal chance, we're all tied up, but they need to find a way to get this next goal. It has to come here. They have to consider themselves lucky to continue being in this one due to the fact that they've done a great job of changing their boost usage as the series has gone along. But it's now or never here for North Carolina.
We've got about 25 seconds to score here to leave a minute on the clock for the last one. But again, you've got to just be ready to pounce on an opportunity to score if you are North Carolina here. Is Aaron going to turn this one forward? So Aquastero missed down low. It's cleared away by Nano again, and he's been one heck of a defensive player tonight. 1:08 to go. This offense still with nothing, Wolfie, with 65 seconds on the clock.
Still a little panic there. Great job. North Carolina at least gets it off their half, but 60 seconds remaining. Bears doesn't have much. As Gavilan pushing it down, Aquasteer says, give it to me, I need the hat trick.
Well, now or never, you're going to need that kickoff goal to be back in your favor here, Wolf, to get this game immediately back within 2. But, as it stands, that does not look all that likely.
Let's just go kickoff goal, and then kickoff goal, tie it up, go to OT. And, let's see the series go around. But no, that'll be insane here. But nonetheless, North Carolina, I liked how they played. I think this team has a lot they can get after it for. And right here, Gallon says, hey, my teammate and Aquasteer has been getting the goals here tonight. I want to grab 1 too.
What percent and double that is as well. I mean, that's a one heck of a shot there. But, again, it's 5-1. That's probably your kill shot here for game 3. 41 seconds though. We've seen miracles happen before, but this clock is about as against North Carolina as it can be. So, but again, you mentioned how the way UNC play. I like it too. I mean, I think they're contenders still. Syracuse is a heck of a roster. They're tough to beat. North Carolina got a full taste of that. 6-1, 26 to go. But again, hats off to North Carolina. I mean, they played a solid series. Game 3's kind of got out of reach a little bit.
Hats off, but passports potentially? Are we going to Brazil? We'll find out in 26 seconds, but this is where this team is right now with the season, towards the end, towards we find ourselves closer to playoffs. I think this team will finally get more of a grasp on how they want to attack some squads. And Syracuse look put together. There's a reason so many people come out here and see what they've been able to kind of do for their players, and the reason for it, the heck of a job on all the skill level. It's why the facilities are top notch. Their programs continue to grow, and right now they're showing they're a staple, and they want to continue being that staple and not just be there, but be a competitor in it.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse got an upgraded facility. They just hosted that PEC kickoff event in Syracuse, New York, at their brand new facility. I've gotten to see a couple of pictures of it. Talked to Travis and everyone at Syracuse and about some opportunities for CCS in the future. But it is cool to what they've got going on up there. But Syracuse improved to 4-0 in ACC play. North Carolina falls to 2-1 here in the ACC. But again, what a win it is for the Orange.
Yeah, the Orange, they get it done. This is the road that they knew they needed to travel. And, Nation, let's see the consistency the rest of the way. I'm excited to see what they continue to look like.
Me as well. I'm excited to watch Syracuse play Virginia Tech later on in the semester. That'll be a big-time game. We're going to go to break, though. When we come back for our final game, it's Georgia State and James Madison.